Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the first official episode of the People's Portfolio. Okay, so last week we did a lovely little, in my opinion anyway, little intro series into, if you're new to Football Index, just a nice little 5 episode little chunk for guys who are new, brand new, thinking about opening an account, walking them through how to get the portfolio put together, things you need to know, all that type of thing. And the last thing we kind of left off with is this portfolio that we're running with. I'm quite happy for this to be like, the people's portfolio as I put it. So, and again, it's just really for guidance to new people, what sort of things you should be looking for, and having kind of proof in the pudding with success and that type of thing as well. So what I asked for in the last video was comments of suggestions of players who you would add into the portfolio that we have at the moment. Okay, so our first two or three come in from Jamie. Jamie's been on the channel for a while, subscribing, great interactions, and I think the guy's doing pretty well himself. And he goes with Neil Mopai, Victor Camarasa, and Raheem Harper if Celtic keep their hands off, in his words. We then got Lee asking me, I don't think that's a suggestion, Lee. If I'm wrong, sorry, buddy. And then we had Neil and Yee saying Gaston Pereiro, who I think is quite a good little shout, and then we had Jonathan Coney. Okay, so we have a nice couple of little suggestions to go through here in the video today. Okay, so I'm just going to start off with Jamie's because that's top of the list there. Okay, so Jamie mentions Neil Mopai. Okay, now this is the guy whose name I'm semi-familiar with, but it wasn't until I actually started looking into the guy and researching him a little bit more where I think this guy's actually got a lot of good potential on Football Index. He's a striker, he's been at Brentford since 2017, he's got a good goal to game ratio, and the situation with championship players now is with the recent success of guys like James Maddison, Harvey Barnes, the boy Brooks at Bournemouth, that having good success in the championship, it definitely carries a lot of weight now with that kind of middle to lower end club in the Premier League. So there's links here to Sheffield United, obviously automatic promotion, Aston Villa, would potentially be going after him, especially if they can't keep Tammy Abraham. That might be something to look at. And I think there's a link here to West Ham somewhere as well. Yeah, West Ham. But that's a blog. If you look there, Hammers News blog. So it's not an official paper link. That's just a blog. When you go and look at the guy's got actually a decent pedigree. So before playing for Brentford, where's his Wikipedia? The guy actually has, as I say, a good pedigree. He's played for France, under 16, under 17, under 19, and a couple of under 21 caps. And at the moment he's 22, so he's just came out of that under 21 setup 2 games ago, which is nice. And then in France himself, he's played for some decent teams. Nice, for 3 years. Goals to game ratio is not great, of course. Saint Etienne, good team, not a great return. Brest had been in League 2, a decent result, and then he's went to Brentford, and Brentford have got a good track record of pulling players out, like your Scott Hogans and these types of guys, and they're going to have decent careers elsewhere. Brentford's all about that kind of moneyball situation, so the guy obviously ticks a lot of boxes, and for who's out there in the kind of in terms of prospective clubs, he could be quite an attractive prospect, for your teams that are getting promoted from the Championship, even like a Norwich or something. And then your kind of guys like maybe even like a Leicester, Burnley. There's a lot of clubs out there who would probably spend the money on a player like this who's 22, got a good pedigree, and is adapted to English football pretty well. If we have a look at him on Football Index, Neil Mopai. Sometimes I do these videos more of a kind of, I take screenshots of things just to do it more like a slideshow, but with this I've just found it'll be Neil Mopai, there it is at the bottom, 78 pence. Okay, now he's on and up to now. Okay, so ideally I would have had this video ready to rock earlier in the week when he was at 71 pence, and already would have found like a 2 or 3%, maybe even 5 or 6% actually. 7 days, 9%. Yeah, so if we did this last week, would have been a nice 10% rise now, which would be cool. But he's still got a lot of room for growth if you compare him with other players like Jared Bowen. He's English, so he does have a bit more of that kind of appeal on the index for that reason, but he's still got a lot of room for growth if he does seal a Premier League move. The next one he suggested was Victor Camarasa. We'll just look at his price since he's right here in front of us now, and he's really hovered between that 50-55 pence mark quite a lot since being in the Premier League. Now, one thing I didn't realise about Camarasa, and again it's a name I'm familiar with, and I know the second half of the season he did really well for Cardiff, is that he was on loan from Betis. Now Betis are not in Europe next year, which I think plays a massive positive into will he get transferred category. he had a good season at Cardiff. A lot of people think well of him. If you look at the news for him, he's been linked to West Ham, Wolves, Leicester. There's a lot of decent teams going after him. Wolves have got a good track record of buying from Spain. Think about Johnny Castro, the guy at right wing back, was a kind of no. People knew he was a decent right back in Spain, but they didn't think that much of him. And then he went to Wolves and just went up a level. So again, Wolves have previous of this kind of signing, and again for the money he's at now, he's pretty attractive for that. He's made his name. He's shown again he can play in the Premier League in a struggling team. Never mind what he'll do in a more successful team. And again, the price he's sitting at, like 55 pence, is pretty attractive. And then the third person that Jamie put to us was Raheem Harper. Now, he made a wee cheeky comment about Celtic. I don't think Celtic will get this guy if Tottenham are actually interested, and if Norwich are actually interested, I think he'll go to the Premier League. Without Brendan Rodgers, yeah, sure, Champions League football potentially is there for Celtic, but I don't see somebody like this moving up north without Champions League football being guaranteed or a great manager being in place. So this guy is more than likely going to move to the Premier League, in my opinion. And being a contract rebel, he's in the last year of his contract. You can get him for basically a training fee. I think it's a couple of $100,000, which is why Celtic are interested. Then, especially for a team like Tottenham, Norwich, or who was their team? Sorry, Tottenham, Norwich. I think that might have been it. I thought maybe I seen Sheffield or somebody. Then that's a very attractive player for a lot of financial reasons for the Premier League teams that are in that kind of lower. Because when you're buying from the Championship, especially a younger player, it's a risk assessment. How much is it going to cost us? Likelihood of success, yada yada yada. And it's the same with Football Index. Now, as you can see, it's at 57 pence an hour, and over the last month, its price has been fairly consistent between that 57 to 54 pence kind of mark. As you can see here, he's not really wiggled about too much. And all he needs is a solid set of transfer links to come his way, and that 57 pence he could easily then match that kind of category that Neil Maupay is in, 78 pence. That's a decent percentage. That's like 50% increase easily enough. Okay. The next suggestion that came to us was from Neil and Yee, and they were talking about Gaston Pereiro. Now, Gaston Pereiro I actually found quite interesting, quite appealing. The guy's quite young. He's not interested in signing a new contract. Now, both these football orange, you see that one there at the top, the 6th of May, and then this one here on the 11th of May. They basically outwardly say his agent is not interested in him signing a new deal. He's out of contract, but there's no clubs being linked to him. If you look at this is a nice little article, right? So his contract runs out next summer. He's 23 years old. He scored 10 goals and 5 assists, and he was not fancied by the manager. Okay, so that tells you that, the guy's not, we can look at his stats. I'm sure it shouldn't be too hard. I didn't actually do this already, so we'll see what we find, okay? But if he's not fancied by the manager, and from midfield, fair enough, the Eredivisie has a lot of goals, and it's not exactly the most competitive league in the world. It's not as if there's 20 teams going for the title. Competitions. If this doesn't work, guys, I'll scrap it and come back to it later. Competitions. I normally do this ahead of time, sorry guys, but I'm on a little fam holiday and I've just managed to squeeze some time in for this video. Eredivisie, standings, PSV, and Gaston Pereiro, 7.8 average rating in the league, 23 games, okay, so you can, 6 assists since that was done. Champions League did okay, but as you can see, shots per game is nice and high. Playing positions, centre mid, 25 games, 9 goals. Attacking mid, 3 games. So he's a real good attacking kind of centre mid. He's young enough, he's 23. He's had good experience in Europe. So but the thing with Gaston Pereiro at the moment is he's not had any clubs linked to him. If you read these articles, you can go through here, it's just saying PSV will need to sell. There's no Tottenham are interested, Everton are interested, whatever. So that actually presents you with a good opportunity with this guy, because his price at the moment is very modest, 55 pence. As soon as he does get linked with someone, particularly if it's a Premier League club coming after him, then that price could go anywhere really. He's got a pre-established ceiling of, let's call it, 61 pence, and to go from 55 to 61, you're talking about a 10% rise. So to have 10% rising on somebody is not it's not something to turn your nose up at, certainly. Okay, and then the final suggestion we had was Jonathan Ikone. This is probably the one that I'm kind of least excited about, because Lille are guaranteed, or they're qualified for Europe next year, Champions League. They're going to be selling Pepe. There's not too many transfer links for this guy. It's mainly Jonathan Bamba and Nicolas Pepe. This guy, I don't think, as much as he's highly rated, he's had a good season or whatever, Lille are going to hold firm, in my opinion, on Rafael Leal, probably Jonathan Ikone, and then the Brazilian boy they've got, is it Mendes in midfield? I've got a feeling they're going to try and hang on to these guys for next year. So, depends on your strategy if you're looking at next year in terms of just playing well and earning your dividends, and yeah, this guy ticks a lot of boxes. But if you're looking for that double-edged sword of he gets a transfer, gets some boost to a better league, better situation, whatever, and then goes on to have a better season for whatever reason, then excellent, you know. Okay, so for the people's portfolio, guys, we've got some lovely options here. Okay, between Ikone, I'm not going to go with Ikone. I'm probably not going to go with Raheem Harper. I don't know. It's a really tough choice, guys, between these four, to be honest with you. Let me think. Okay, so I'm going to go, just because there's been no links so far to anyone at all, I'm thinking Gaston Pereiro, but I'm really struck between these three guys. I think they're great options, and I'm just trying to think about. So let's see. I'll keep these guys in the list so we can keep a track of them. At 90 pence, I don't think there's much more room for growth in Ikone in the short term, and we're going to be thinking about both terms, short and long, of course. Gaston Pereiro, I think, has a good scope for movement, because he could just come out of left field and get transferred to like a West Ham or something, or even a Leicester. You know, that's very possible. Neil Maupay, I think he's had some good growth recently. He could continue to grow quite easily. There's nothing, and again, it depends on who's going to be linked with, especially if it is like Spurs that did come in from him. The same with Victor Camarasa. He's quite safe. He's, you know, if you look at him over the last 3 months, he's only been on and up. Moving to the Premier League is always going to stimulate growth. Gaston Pereiro, that's the only thing, is he's not guaranteed to move to the Premier League. You go to like Inter Milan or something like that, it's not going to do very much for his price. So I think, all things considered, he's been fairly stable as well. And again, if somebody just comes out of nowhere and signs him, like a Wolves, or who was he linked with again, Norwich, and just because, oh, Jesus, it's such a hard decision, guys, you know. I don't want the video to drag on for too long, so let's just make a decision. He's going to move from Betis. Betis are going to want money. Brentford are selling team. It's a tough one, guys. I had to pause the video and look over everything again, because I was just like, I don't know what to do here. There's so many great options. So what we're going to do is, we're just going to go with Victor Camarasa. He's got too many Premier League established links already, and I think that's quite a safe bet, and that's what this is all about. So we're going to go £40 on Victor Camarasa. Boom. Cool. Now the reason we got to £40 is I went through the fixtures, decided how much would I have betted, and that's what we've went for. Okay, £40. Victor Camarasa. We've got a spare 50 pence. Is it worth putting on anyone? No, it's not. Excellent, guys. People's portfolio. Leave comments down below. Who should we buy next week? Okay. If you're new around here, guys, like, share, subscribe, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.